Georgia, Alabama. Sports Live will be your go-to for all your favorite high school and collegiate games this fall. From the Carver Tigers to the Columbus Blue Devils, the Harris County Tigers and Northside Patriots, the Glenwood Gators and Calvary Christian Knights, the Pacelli Vikings and Brookstone Cougars to the Smith Station Panthers and Russell County Warriors, from CVCC, Pirates basketball and baseball, and every tournament from here to Macon. We are the #1 destination for anything happening in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. Be sure to like and follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and stay tuned for even more amazing ways we will be bringing Georgia, Alabama Sports Live to you this upcoming season. We can't wait to come see you next. What's going on? Another edition of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show here, as we couldn't get the mic situated. Thrift, Barringer, Richard, Holdridge, and we got a fantastic show in store for you today, including having a special guest. The Columbus State men's basketball coach, Robert Moore, will be joining the program. We'll also be dropping another week of our baseball rankings. We'll recap what's happened so far this week. I got some thoughts on LeBron. And we also are going to have more in-depth thoughts. We didn't really get to talk about it because Jack didn't come on on Monday. So we didn't get much detail. We did talk about it on Sports Visions, but I want to go in further detail and in depth about the openings that just happened this past week in our viewing area. And I'll bring them back on screen. It's Richard. How you doing this evening, man?
Doing great.
I know that you're excited to get into what we should be a fun night talking. We're presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Buffalo Rock Pepsi, Gordy Eye Care, and Kinetic Credit Union. I had fun today at the Varsity Sports Bar and Grill, where T-Bone Steakhouse used to be. They were gracious enough to allow us to host the Columbus Lions briefing press conference with Nathan Fleury, the new GM, and Damian Daniels. And then we also had the Inside the Den coaches show and had players like Joel Green and Marco Lee, the running back, who were part of that 85-0 obliteration Peach State this past Sunday, Richard. So it was good to be able to do that. I know we had some baseball too. We had the Pacelli coaches show. So been a fun week so far, and some excellent baseball, to say the least.
Yeah, the baseball was absolutely incredible. I mean, we've witnessed Brookstone and Shaw. Brookstone ended up winning in 10 runs, 12-2 earlier today. And we had Shaw taking on Hardaway yesterday. We had Brookstone taking on Central. Just a lot of great baseball, and I can't wait to drop these rankings.
Yeah, I can't wait to either, Richard. It's going to be a lot of fun being able to drop them, as you made mention, and see who are the top teams. We have Brookstone Central yesterday. We got CVCC baseball on Friday. We also had fun at the CVCC selection party. So the Lady Pirates, who are now in the national tournament. How about those Lady Pirates, man? Winning the state, then the district. Now Coach Joe Richardson's team is the number 19 seed. They take on Bryant and Stratton, the 14 seed, in a 20-team tournament, double elimination that starts next Monday at 1 p.m. They leave on Saturday. This is in Missouri. I know we're very proud of those Lady Pirates, and Joe's doing this in his second season. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, and he's got a young team with players like Zy Thompson and Aaliyah Younger. We had a chance to interview both players. Just the success that Coach Joe Richardson has had at CVCC in his little tenure to get them to the national championship or the tournament selection is just an incredible accomplishment.
It is a great accomplishment, and we're proud of them. And we're going to be cheering them on next week as they play in the national tournament. So excited about that, and just a good time around the sports scene in our area. We were talking about who are some of the key trainers, and this kind of sparked a good conversation on the Sports Vision Morning Show, which you can listen to me and DJ Jones every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on Sports Vision 92.1 FM, Sports Vision's Facebook. You can find us on YouTube, Sports Vision's radio show, and the Sports Vision Morning Show on Apple and Spotify. And we got a conversation. We had JT Todd on, who is all the way in Africa training right now, the guy that had a big part in the AK Shelton and the Deja Burrell's development. And tomorrow we got on Mike Woods. We're giving flowers to all those around the area that have really helped develop our youth and give back. It's awesome to see these guys getting recognition.
Yeah, and I do believe that they deserve the recognition because all that hard work has paid off. We've seen multiple championships, and these girls really been working hard since they were in grade school. And these guys like Mike Woods and JT Todd and Curtis Crowell, Travis Lindsay, they've done just a phenomenal job in developing these players and their AAU travel teams. And really, basketball is just a year-round sport. I mean, they're already out working out in their AAU teams, and they're getting ready for next season.
Yeah, they are, man. And we'll be cheering them on. We'll be excited to see next year's collective group. But for those seniors like Michaela Hosley, Jalen Bush, Deja Burrell, A.K. Shelton, Michaela Johnson, Mimi Johnson over at Glenwood, to seniors like Tony Montgomery, Jacoby Hill, Bryce Dawson, KJ Griffin. These are just some to name a few of the guys who made major impacts this past year in our area, man, and looking forward to next year. But those specific players had phenomenal seasons this year, helping lead their teams to deep playoff runs. And we appreciate them and their hard work this year. And you'll be able to see and watch the Sports Vision's hosting the San Mark Foundation Awards Luncheon next Thursday, March 20th at the St. Luke Ministry Center at 11:30. Wow. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an absolutely busy day that day, Richard, because we'll have the luncheon and then we have to go straight to calling a CVCC baseball game. So the world that we live in, for sure, in that regard. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from break, we are going to talk to the man himself, his Columbus State Cougars. Robert Moore finished number 8 in the final rankings in the nation, and they are a number 1 seed, and they get to host 3 games potentially to get to a place that never been before, which is the Elite 8. We'll talk about that with him and more on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
I love that commercial. It's Richard. It's Thrift. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, and let's go ahead and bring him on, Richard. He is the head coach of the Columbus State Cougars men's program. Been there for quite some time. His name is Robert Moore. Coach, thank you so much for joining the program again tonight.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Coach. I know we came up a little bit short in the conference tournament. It was an incredible game, a loss in the semifinals, but you still got the respect for the hard work you did this regular season. Win the regular season championship. You got to be a number 1 seed. Do you know the last time Columbus State was a number 1 seed, and how do you like the fact that you get to have 3 games all at home for a chance to make it to the Elite 8, which has never been done before?
Oh, like you said, man, it's basically the hard work we did during the regular season. I felt like our guys had put together a good resume throughout the season, and I'm just glad the NCAA committee saw all the hard work we did and how many game streaks we put on as far as winning games. And our guys deserve it. I think we won the Peach Belt Conference regular season by 3 games. Had just beat Buford to win the regular season title at Buford, and playing them a week later just was tough on us. But, you got to take your hats off to Buford. They did a great job of making a lot of threes, and it's March. Thrift, you know what March means. When you can make a
Yeah.
lot of threes, it's hard to beat somebody. And I'm just glad my guys got a second chance to win another title. And it's at home. We're on our home court. Our guys are excited. The fans are excited. We're hoping for a big crowd in there on Saturday at 5 p.m. And let's play basketball.
Coach, you're the number 1 seed in the Southeast Quadrant. You're taking on a Carson Newman team. Also, South Carolina Aiken is the number 2 seed. That could be a potential Sweet 16 matchup. Just talk about what Carson Newman brings as far as a matchup going into Saturday's game, and really, what are you looking forward to about getting your team prepared for that first round in the NCAA tournament?
We already been preparing for Carson Newman, a great basketball team. Coach Chuck Benson does a great job with them. He's been there a long time from Tennessee. He recruits a lot of shooters, man. We got to guard the 3-point line. But the good thing about it, Richard, is that we played against USC Buford that shoot a lot of threes. So I think our guys will be a little bit more urgent to get out on 3-point shooters. They spread the court. They push it. They try to score 100 points. So we got to get back on defense and guard the 3-point line. I think that's the key to the game. If you can give up 9 threes instead of 18, I like your chances of winning. So that's been our main emphasis in practice. We know they're going to make a few, but we can't give up a whole lot of 3-point shots.
Exactly right, Coach. And I want to talk about what this means for Columbus State as a whole, to be able to host 4 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and then a game on Tuesday, to have all these teams in the Columbus area viewing your incredible facilities, including the Lumpkin Center. How excited are you about hosting this and having the nation see what Columbus State brings?
It puts a light on Columbus State University as a university. It shows that we have done a great job as far as getting students on campus. And now you bring something like the NCAA tournament to our campus. Yeah, I take my hats off to President Dr. Stuart Rayfield, my athletic director, Lauren Bryan, Julio Llanos, Jimbo Davis. All those people have been a great job of making sure we run a first-class tournament. And we hosted a Peach Belt tournament, so we got to we got to see what we needed to do to improve for the NCAA tournament. And now, if you go up to that place now, they got everything already set up, man.
Awesome.
It looked like you in another city. So I think our guys going to be excited. I think the fans will be excited. And we just going to encourage everybody to come out and watch some great basketball. And like Richard said, USC Aiken's the 2nd seed. It tells you how strong this Peach Belt Conference really is, man. We both can meet up to have a chance to one of us go to the Elite 8. So I'm looking forward to it.
Coach, you had several awards that were announced last week, including Peach Belt Coach of the Year. So congratulations. Also, Jared Adderton being a Peach Belt Player of the Year. What does this mean for Jared Adderton, and how likely of a chance he could be in the running, not only to be an All-American, but to possibly be National Player of the Year?
It's great for our program. Thrift loves to talk about all the great ones that played at Columbus State: Kenny Funderburk, Cam Baker, and the list goes on and on. I think Jared has put himself in that company with those guys because the things we have done as a team, and he's been our leader all year. And just to see him accomplish some of his goals that he set for himself individually, and also bring the team along too, I think it's great for the university. I think it's great for Jared and Jared family. Jared's a great young man, does his schoolwork, no nonsense guy, really works on his game, stays in the classroom. So you just love to see guys like that accomplish their goals. And I thought Jared did a great job this year.
How big of an advantage do you think it is, Coach, for your team not to have to travel, to be at home and be in the gymnasium that they're very comfortable with against teams that you're kind of familiar with too? I feel like everything's set up for you to be successful here in these 3 games to get to Elite 8 that we've never been to.
Oh, yeah, our guys love it. They get to get on the shooting machine. They get to shoot in our gym. They get to do their workouts on their own. And this semester has been a big advantage for us because we practice at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then that whole afternoon, those guys get to get up shots. and they really loving that. And then, the main thing for me is sleeping in my own bed, getting up with my own routine, and
Right.
not being on the road in a hotel. So it's been really good for my staff, the men, the guys on our team, and I think we're embracing it, and we don't take it for granted. We're very grateful that we're hosting the NCAA tournament, and we're just gonna put our best foot forward to bring home the title.
How's it working in terms of tickets and stuff? Like, if you buy a ticket, you get to see all 4 games that are going to be happening on Saturday. Kind of explain to our audience and everyone in the community when they come out what they're getting and it entails and how much it costs.
The one thing I like about it, Richard, the NCAA Division II made a great rule: 10 and under is free.
Awesome.
You can bring Little League baseball teams. You can bring AAU teams. 11 to 18-year-olds are $5. And those are discounted tickets. And anybody that's an adult is $10. And like you said, you can start watching basketball at 12 o'clock all the way to 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I think it's a great price. I went to Muskogee County meeting this morning. We've got some tickets that we're giving out. Some special supporters bought tickets for people to come to the games. So we're trying to get rid of those tickets. I talked to the military today out at Fort Benning. So we're trying to pack that place, man. So it should be a great event. If you don't have anything to do on Saturday, make it your business to be in the Lumpkin Center.
Coach, I do want to talk about the cohesive unit. This team has gelled, and not just Jared Adderton, he's been your leading scorer. I mean, he's been really that go-to guy, but it's the players around Jared that really has stepped up, like a Jelani James and a Wisdom Ubot. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right.
Right.
And I just think that this team, from start to finish, has just been playing with a purpose, and they got a goal in mind. But what are some things that you took away from your team, and knowing that losing to South Carolina Beaufort in the Peach Belt, they learned something about themselves. They got to defend the 3 better, and they know. Do you think that loss in the semifinal might light a fire under them, and as they have the number 1 seed, and they should be able to take care of business?
How companies attach plastic sleeves.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that. We watched the film together as a staff and also the guys on the team, and they all felt like USC Beaufort had their urgency because they knew they couldn't participate in the NCAA tournament. And they were a little bit more urgent. I'm not saying my guys didn't play hard. We played hard, but I thought they wanted it a little bit more. And I thought our guys were lingering on that we got another chance because we can go to the NCAA tournament. And then once my guys saw that, and now it's win or go home, you have to win this game, I think we'll be so urgent. I just want us to have a lot of nerves because, like you said, we've been together all year. We know what to expect. If a team gonna make a run, we got to fight through it. And I've been telling everybody, my team has answered the bell every time this year, and I don't expect anything different, especially with an experienced group, an experienced team. And go back to, like you said, Jelani James, the guy made himself a first-team all-conference guy for a reason. And I love watching him and Jared Adderton as a 1-2 punch. And then you can't leave Wisdom out. He made third-team all-conference. He can knock down threes, so I tell people, and our supporting cast is so good when you talk about Messiah Jones coming off the bench, Jordan Mitchell, Roman Son has been solid at the point guard spot after losing Rakeem Gary, a Division I transfer. So I think these guys understand that's what is at stake, and they'll be ready to play.
Well, we can't wait for it. What time is the game on Saturday for all those that want to attend, Coach?
5 p.m. against Carson Newman. And like I say, you can watch Augusta play Lenore Ryan at 12. And you can also watch some other games that start at 2:30. And then we got a game right after our game. But the main event, 5 p.m., Carson Newman versus Columbus State University, man. We want everybody in the house.
Coach, we're definitely going to be there covering it. We look forward to it, and we're hoping that by the time we have another show on Wednesday, which will be next Wednesday, we're talking about you going to the Elite Eight. So thank you so much, Coach, and look forward to talking to you soon.
All right, thank y'all for having me, man. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
And that is Coach Robert Moore of the Columbus State Cougars, and his Cougars, I think this is going to be the year, man. I think they're making it to the Elite Eight. And how about Matt Hauser? Also is in the NCAA tournament. They got in as a 5 seed. They're going to be on the road, but I think this team is talented enough and now healthy enough that they can make a deep run. I fully expect Matt Hauser's team to at least get one victory, I think, and we're going to be cheering them on. They're going to be played also on Saturday.
Actually, they play on Friday.
Excuse me, girls play on Friday, and then Friday and Saturday, and then their game, Sweet 16, could potentially be on Monday.
Yeah, they're in a tough bracket. North Georgia was the Peach Belt champions, the number 1 seed. The Columbus Lady Cougars are the number 5 seed. They got a tough path, but like you mentioned, they're fully healthy. Coach Hauser is got them playing at a high level, and anything can happen.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back from break, we're going to have our baseball rankings, and then we'll wrap it up talking about the 2 openings in Brookstone and in Smith Station, and finally LeBron and Stephen A. Smith here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this. Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
He's always needing money, man. Every time we see him, he's needing money. All right, Richard, let's go ahead and let's talk the baseball rankings, and let's bring them up. All right, so we got some shakeups. So number 10 is Hardaway and Jordan. Now, Hardaway did beat Jordan. Jordan's right now the number 4 seed in the 2A region, 2A classification. So Jordan comes in tied with Hardaway. Jordan's also got some big wins too. We got Hardaway slightly ahead of him, but I didn't want Jordan left out of this list, so that's why we put them tied with Hardaway. Number 9 is Shaw. They beat Hardaway. They also still got to play Jordan. They lost to Columbus, but Shaw has 1 region loss, and they are right behind the number 8 team, Columbus High, who has beat everyone in their region, but lost to a lot of the teams that are up in front of them on this list. So 8 Columbus, number 1 team in that region. Number 2 team in the region, Shaw, and the number 3 and 4 teams, Hardaway and Jordan, round out our bottom half of our top 10 here in our baseball rankings.
Yeah, this last week, I've been on the privilege to call 3 Shaw games and 2 Columbus games. I've gotten to see Hardaway. I've yet to see Jordan. They got a good record. I think that Hardaway, when they play Jordan in a couple of weeks, we'll find out how good these teams are. But the number 8, number 9, and the number 10 teams, they're all in the same region, and I do believe these are the top 4 teams in Region 1 in Class 2A. This is the region that features 7 of the 8 Muskogee County schools and Sumter County. And so Columbus, I mean, they got a big win over Shaw on Friday. Michael Nodelman and R.J. Griffin with a combined no-hitter. And then Columbus lost to Glenwood, but Columbus was able to beat Jordan. And Shaw was able to defeat Hardaway 11-6 last night with Kingsley Long hitting 2 home runs. By the way, he's got 3 home runs for Shaw.
Wow.
That's a player to look out for, Kingsley Long. And Hardaway's a pretty good team, too. They did defeat Jordan. And I know people look at their record 8-4 and who have they played. But it doesn't really matter. You beat the teams that are on your schedule. And I think Coach Anthony has done a fantastic job with the Hardaway Hawks. I can't wait to be back there. That was the first time I was actually at Hardaway High School for a baseball game. We will be back there in a couple weeks for the Midtown
It was a
Showdown
lot of
baseball
fun, too,
edition.
by the way.
Yeah, it really
and they
was.
got lights, too. We found out they have
have
lights.
And Coach Kelly Ellison joined me on the broadcast. So that was great. And we honored the Hardaway Lady Hawks basketball team before the game.
Number 7 is Pacelli. They've had a good year. They got a lot of good teams in front of them. So Coach Case Rasmus, they got a big series in a couple weeks against Brookstone. Looking forward to that. Number 6, Calvary. They lost last week to Glenwood, but their losses are Glenwood. Their losses are to Northside. And then, of course, their final one is to Central. They also got wins against Lakeside. They also have beating some other teams as well, like Holtville,
Bethlehem Christian,
who's a really good GIAA team. Calvary's really good, and they come in at number 6, and I think they'll be fine as they start to find their leg underneath them themselves. Tommy Irvin's been great. So 6 is Calvary. Northside, another surprise team. They are undefeated in region play. So is Harris County. Both of them are like this, man. I mean, you really can do a coin flip for either one. I got Harris County 4 now, Northside 5. But both those teams are on a collision course. The problem is they also got Central Carroll and Stars Mill. So it's like 4 elite teams. And then the other teams are terrible. So those 4 teams are for sure in the playoffs. Where they're going to be seated, we're going to find out. But Harris County 4, Tony Dimitri's young Tigers got another big win tonight against Jonesboro. They've been sensational. Northside's been really good under Tracy Powell. And then we got Calvary at 6 and Pacelli at 7. Talk about 4 through 7, Richard.
All right, well, let's start with Harris County. 24-0 today against Jonesboro. Coach Tony Dimitri, his second year, we're starting to see the growth and the development of Harris County baseball. And it starts with Harris County Little League, who's been successful the last couple of years. So those young players, those 8th graders and freshmen, they're going to be coming up through the varsity, and we're going to know how good Harris County is. Northside, under Coach Tracy Powell, they are right there. They've had some pretty impressive wins. They've beaten Calvary. They almost beat Glenwood, but they've been winning these region games. They were able to beat Griffin, Jonesboro, and I think it's going to be a collision course between Harris County, Northside, Stars Mill, and Central Carroll in that region. As far as Calvary, 4-3, but they look at who they lost to. They had a very good showing in the Border Wars. After losing to Glenwood, they turned around and beat Russell County. They beat Holtville, and they beat Bethlehem Christian. So a very good showing for Coach Steve Smith and Calvary. I cannot wait for that 3-game series between Pacelli and Brookstone next week. We get 2 games at Brookstone, and it's not even a doubleheader. It's Tuesday, it's at Brookstone, Thursday at Pacelli, Friday back at Brookstone. That's really the way it should be. I was talking to one of the parents. I was like, sometimes teams that travel into Columbus will play doubleheaders, but if you're in Columbus, they want those separate games because that's extra tickets for these baseball games. When you're paying one ticket price, you get actually both games when you have a doubleheader. And really, sometimes these doubleheaders are long. When you have a team that's traveling in, they have no choice. They have to play a doubleheader. But I love this 3-game series with Pacelli and Brookstone.
Number 3 is Brookstone. They were number 2, but they lost to a good Central team at Central last night. So I put them at number 3. Their 2 losses to Central and Lakeside. They've also taken care of business against everybody else, and a couple of them that are on this list. Number 2 is Central. They got 4 losses, but they also played an incredibly tough schedule. They played in some big-time tournaments. And then the number 1 team, who has – listen to this, Richard. They've beaten number 2, number 4, number 5, number 6, and then number 8 on this list. One more time. Number 2, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 8 on this list. They do not play Brookstone, and they beaten Harris County, Northside, Central, Calvary. They don't play Pacelli. They've beaten Columbus. Glenwood is the best team by far. They have been explosive at the plate. Their pitching has been lights out, and they are the number 1 program in our area. How about those Glenwood Gators?
You know what they remind me of? The 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks. Because when you're throwing Tyler Sykes and Mason McCrane as your 1-2 starters,
wow,
good luck beating Glenwood in the playoffs, because these are best of 3 series. So you're pitching Tyler Sykes and Mason McCrane game 1 and game 2. That's how they're able to win those state championships. 2 years ago, they had Jacob Page and Tyler Sykes. Mason McCrane was the number 3 starter. Now you have, last year, it was Tyler Sykes, Mason McCrane, and they also have Henderson. They have Torres. I mean, Coach Fanning's got pitching depth, and that's why Glenwood's winning all these games.
Exactly right, man. So excited about it. Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Man, what a list here.
What a
And
list.
we look forward to continue on with the baseball coverage here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. All right, Richard, I'm going to let you start first about the openings with Grant Gillespie going back home to Raven County. And we have Shaw. Not Shaw. We have, now I'm just lost my train of thought.
Smith Station.
Smith Station opening. Justin Albert gone after a year. Let's talk about Brookstone first.
Okay, Brookstone, it's a very good job. I mean, I don't know if the job entitles being athletic director as well. I'm wondering if they're gonna if they hire a football coach, will they hire an AD as well? Are they going to coincide together? Is that what the position is? But this is a very coveted job. Brookstone has got all the resources. They got the incredible football stadium, Max Strong Stadium. They've got the tradition of winning in the GIAA. Pacelli's got a brand new coach, so you know that there's going to be a lot of bragging rights at Brookstone getting a brand new football coach. Right now, they currently have the Brucelli jug. It's going to be a great job. Whoever gets it, I know they're going to be able to succeed right away because they have all the resources in place, and they have the backing, and they have the fan support.
No doubt about it, man. And I think that they have, like you said, the resources. France did a great job. Semifinal, state final, semifinal in 3 years. The guy knows how to win, is a quarterback guru, and did a great job. He's leaving the program in a good space, but he wants to get back closer to home where his family's at. And I think this is a good move for him. And I think Brookstone's going to have a lot of people coveting that job. They're also looking for an AD as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But Brookstone's a big-time opportunity for someone. And I'm wondering if they're going to go, and they're definitely going to, and I bet, try to find a splash higher too. So be on the lookout for that. Now let's talk about Smith Station, man. So Smith Station has the ability as a sleeping giant, kind of like Harris County. And I said that Harris County is a sleeping giant. They ever get the right coach. And look at the last couple of years. They've been competitive. All their sports have elevated from baseball to flag football to softball, of course, football, girls basketball. Everything's gotten better over the last couple of years. Smith Station needs to take the same route that Harris County did. Right now, they're not doing that. And Justin Albert says he had a better opportunity to be at his alma mater as an assistant coach and a head coach at a 7A public school. That raises questions. It does. And I know they've come out saying that they know this raises questions. They're going to do what's best for the program. Well, I hope they find someone. And when they find someone, get out of the way and let them do their job to be successful as a head coach. Because, Richard, right now, they are so far behind everyone else that they're competing with. And I know they're not in their region, but the Glenwood, the Russell Counties, the Centrals, all of them winning and all of them being competitive in whatever league and whatever classification they're in is hurting Smith Station. That is why top players that are at Smith Station end up leaving the school. You got too much talent, too big of a fan base for this to continue. Something's got to give. I don't like how this played out. It's a sad situation for the kids that they're going to go through now another coach. That's 3 coaches in a year and one coach that lasted a month. I just not a good situation right now happening at Smith Station. Something's got to give, and hopefully they find that medium, find the foundation, find the culture, and then do what is necessary to support your coach in being successful.
I was absolutely shocked when I found out that Justin Albert resigned as the head coach of Smith Station. When he was first hired, I got excited. I knew him from Russell County. He was a offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach. He's a player's coach. Everybody wants to play for him. He is an energetic, up-and-coming coach. He played wide receiver at Prattville. He'd go on to play at Auburn. I was excited about this hire, Thrift. I thought that he was going to be the guy to turn around Smith Station, that they would at least be competitive and win 5 or 6 games. Now they got to start from scratch. They got to start all over again and try to find a hire. And like you mentioned, this does raise questions. Now, I'm not going to knock Coach Albert. He's going to his alma mater. I mean, he's being an assistant coach at Prattville. I mean, this is what's making him happy, and I wish him the best of luck. But I can't imagine what's going through those kids' minds.
Exactly.
This coach was only there for a month, and he decided to take another opportunity. And it makes me wonder, are they ever going to get the right person? because right now they went 0-10 last year. Before that,
They
went
haven't,
1-9.
and they haven't been
1-9.
relevant. They haven't been relevant, Richard, since 2015. That's the last time they had a winning season. They've struggled recently, and I hate it because this
I do too.
community really has been through a lot, and they need something to galvanize. And right now, the football team just can't find a way to get out of its own way, man.
One thing about the Smith Station community, because I've called many games at Smith Station. I was there in 2022 when they actually beat Prattville, and Coach Mike Glisson got emotional on the camera because that was the first time in school history they beat Prattville. A huge win.
And they actually were competitive that year. And the last 2 years, they've gone 1-19.
Because they had a quarterback. Jackson Greer was a great quarterback. Brody Dixon, another. You had pretty good football players, and they were competitive 2 years ago. But something's just not right. This Smith Station fan base, which they packed TC Britton Field, Panther Stadium. Let's not get it twisted. This fan base is supportive. There is hardly an empty seat. They got a radio broadcast. They truly care about Smith Station football. But you've got to be competitive. You're looking at teams like Russell County making it to the second round of the playoffs, Central winning state titles, Glenwood being competitive. I mean, even Beauregard, Valley, and Beulah are making the playoffs. I mean, these are the smaller schools in the outskirts. I'm talking like area where if you live in the Smith Station area, where would you go to play football? Because we all know that, there's a lot of talent in that area, and the talent is just going other places. I think that Smith Station just needs to get a coach that will go in, let him do his thing, let him hire his own staff, and hands off. Let him build a culture, because it's really going to have to start with a brand new foundation for the Smith Station Panthers.
No doubt. Good job, Richard. And we'll end it with this. LeBron, Stephen A. Smith, it's all for show. I'm done with it. LeBron's come out looking like he did that for show. Stephen A's now calling his move weak after didn't say nothing to him during it, and then calls him weak. It's buffoonery at its finest. But I expect it. The NBA is trying to play at the level of the NFL. That's just how they stay relevant. A lot of people are tuning in. A lot of people are trying to get the opinion of it. I think LeBron was not right. That's just in my opinion. But, hey, what do I know, Richard? I don't think that what Stephen A. Smith was out of pocket, in my opinion. Bronny should not be in the league right now. Maybe not challenge LeBron's, fatherhood, but also say, your son should not be in the NBA, and I don't think that's an argument. And what did he think was going to happen? Because he set himself up for failure by saying his son was better than half the league 2 years ago, and his son shouldn't even be in the league. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that is really being delusional. You're convincing yourself that your son is an NBA player. Just be proud of the fact that Bronny James was raised up right, that he went to college. He never should have left USC after 1 year. I mean, come on. Look,
but I get it. He wanted a chance.
They were forcing him in the NBA because we wanted the father-son combo in the NBA. We got the moment. They checked in together in the opener. Let's just leave it alone. Let Bronny, I hate to say this, I think it's too late. I don't think he can go back to college, but he really needs to go back to college.
Well, yeah. What he get? He go to the G League. He's not going back to college.
He ain't going back to college, but yeah, he's going to be playing in the G League. Oh, there we go. I've been waiting for that. There's that.
Right. And then
hot take.
We're gonna wrap up the show with this.
Got to come up with a take.
NBA. It's a 4-team race. It's the Knicks. And I'm still not 100% on the Knicks, but I'm going to say the Knicks. And actually, it's a 6-team race. Knicks.
Okay.
Cleveland Boston, Golden State, Lakers, and Denver. I am not believing, and I know they got the best record. I know they're a great team. I know they're well coached. I know they're going to eventually get over the hump. I just feel like they're too young right now, and they don't have that second guy. I think Jalen Williams in OKC is not there yet. They need to get one more guy. They get a number 2 behind SGA. Let Jalen be number 3. Chet at 4. This is a championship winning team. I think they end up playing Golden State in the second round. I think Golden State's veteran leadership takes them down. I think we may get a Golden State Lakers NBA Western Conference Finals and a Cleveland Boston potentially Eastern Conference Finals, and then it's a win-win. If you get Golden State Boston, that's a win. If you get Golden State Cleveland, not as much as a win as Cleveland Lakers would be, but Golden State Boston, Lakers Boston could not be a better option. Anything with Steph or LeBron, you keep riding them if you're the NBA. It's a 6-team race. I think the Atlanta Hawks are going to be the 7th seed. They're going to win the play-in game. They're going to end up playing on Boston, losing in 5, and then they're going to try to regroup for next year. I love the competitive nature of this team. I love Dyson Daniels. I cannot say it enough. Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Richard Say, Trae Young. This is a group that can win. They just got to stay healthy and maybe find one more piece that they can fit in with that 4 nucleus that I just made mention. But, Richard, how do you feel about that? The 6-team race. Not a believer in Houston, Memphis, Milwaukee, Detroit, Indiana. Not a believer in those teams actually win a championship. And if you really want me to narrow it down, I think it's Denver and Lakers, and I think it's Cleveland and Boston. I think those are the 4 teams, specifically with the Knicks and Golden State on the outside looking in, just not ready to believe in OKC.
Yeah, I'm still a believer. I'm going to stand by my pick that the NBA Finals is going to be Denver and Boston. Even as we speak, you got the Thunder taking on the Celtics right now on ESPN, and they got a 4-point lead. But still, Boston knows how to win in the postseason. I mean, you have closers. Even when Kristaps Porzingis was hurt, you still got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, the ageless one, Al Horford. I mean, you're talking about a high IQ guy. Al Horford, he wins everywhere he goes. Drew Holiday, even though he's getting up there in age, great two-way guard. Boston's got all the pieces to win another NBA title. But the Lakers have been a good story. I know LeBron's hurt, but LeBron and Luka has been working. I just think that when they get to the second round, they're probably going to end up playing Denver because Lakers will be a 2 seed, Denver will be a 3 seed. That's going to be a second round matchup. I like that. Golden State.
I mean, listen to that
Denver.
second round matchup. Giannis versus Cleveland, Knicks and Celtics, Golden State, OKC, Nuggets, Lakers. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That is an incredible matchups that I would love. We're going to finally close it with SEC tournament. Who do you got winning? I'm going to say Auburn versus Florida in the SEC championship. Would not be surprised if Florida cuts down the nets. Florida, Auburn, and potentially Tennessee, but I think it's going to be Florida, Auburn, Houston, and Duke are your number 1 seeds after this weekend. Auburn, I really feel like needs to get a win, feel good about themselves. They're going to take on either Arkansas or Ole Miss. They win that, they'll take on the winner of A&M versus Texas, and that team will play the winner. I mean, A&M Texas will play versus the Tennessee Volunteers, and then the winner of that will take on the winner of Auburn versus Arkansas or Ole Miss. So we'll see how those play out. I'm going to say Auburn, Florida, rematch of last year's conference championship. Where you going, Richard? Would not be surprised if it's Auburn, Kentucky as well. I also feel like Auburn, Kentucky, and Kentucky cutting down the nets. You know what? That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Auburn, Kentucky championship. I got Kentucky upsetting Florida, then taking down Alabama. So we'll see. What do you got, Richard?
Well, I
actually,
know that
Kentucky would have to play Alabama, right? Because the number 2 seed is Florida. So Kentucky would beat Alabama, then Florida, and then take on Auburn. They could work their way up to a 2 seed.
Florida would play the winner of Missouri and Mississippi State, right?
Yeah, and that's
And
going to be
then
happening tomorrow. What do you got?
Texas and Texas A&M would play the winner of Tennessee. I'm not buying Tennessee at all. I think Florida ends up winning the SEC tournament. I hate to say this. I mean, I think Arkansas, who got a big win over South Carolina today, I think Arkansas beats Ole Miss. They've got a chance to upset Auburn Friday. But if Auburn's able to get by Arkansas, and they're the number 1 seed, they would end up playing Tennessee in the semifinals. I think that Auburn's got an easy path. How about this semifinal matchup? We could see Florida and Alabama. I think Auburn ends up playing either Florida or Alabama in the SEC championship, and I think that Florida ends up winning. I mean, I think Auburn. I'd love to see Auburn win, but they already got a number 1 seed locked in. I think that Florida or Alabama needs to win the SEC tournament to guarantee themselves a number 1 seed. But Thrift, I got to ask you something. Is there a scenario where Auburn plays itself out of a number 1 seed?
I don't see that. Even if they lose that first round at 27-5, I still think they would be the number 1 seed, but they're still going to be a number 1 seed. If they win all 3 games, I think they get back to the overall number 1 seed,
Yes.
even if Duke wins out. That's just in my opinion. I know the AP poll will have Duke number 1, but I think Auburn would still be the number 1 overall seed if they win the conference tournament. So they can still play their way into that. I don't think they can play their way out of a number 1 seed. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the conference tournament. I'm looking forward to watching Oklahoma and Georgia. That's a big one tonight. Texas got a big win over Vanderbilt. So they're kind of trying to play their way into the NCAA tournament. We really could have maybe 14 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. So we'll see how it plays out. Richard, a lot of fun here tonight. Everyone stay safe, out of the rain, out of the storm. We had a lot of games being moved. As of now, we still have Calvary soccer tomorrow, Calvary coaches show tomorrow. We got CVCC baseball on Friday and Glenwood Smith Station, and then we're going to be covering Columbus State on Saturday. Any other final thoughts, Richard, before we get out of here?
NFL free agency. My 49ers are in the doom days. They're back to 2004, 2015. It's brutal out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
leaving. Everybody's leaving, and it's gonna get ugly.
I can't wait for Sunday when we rehash all these terrible signings like Aaron Rodgers maybe going to Pittsburgh. All right, let's get out of here, man, before I start getting upset. Thank y'all so much for watching. Subscribe, like. Thank you for being a part of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. You're ready to smile.